amazing people. So this is your girl Pooja back again with another monthly recommendation video. So the point is, it wasn't until I was editing the video that I realized that I have forgotten to shoot the intro part of the video, and now that I'm editing it, I don't even have time to get into the getup and shoot it again. So currently it is the sleepless editor talking. Enjoy the video. I'm going to start with the podcast segment today, and to be honest, I did not listen to any new podcast. Rather, I was binge listening to my old favorites, and I came across many different episodes that I think are worth your time. So the very first one is the Odyssey series by Let's Talk About Myths Baby podcast. So basically, I'm a sucker of mythology, basically Greek, Indian and Roman mythology, and this podcast is mostly about the retellings of the Greek and Roman mythology. And if you are not familiar with what the Odyssey series is, so basically this is about one of the Greek heroes who was Odysseus, and he was really great. So you can just totally go and check this one out, and the series consists of about 6 to 7 episodes of like 30 minutes each, so it won't take you much time if you listen to it at 1.5 speed. So go and check this one out. So the next one that I'm gonna recommend is from TRS, or the Ranveer show by Ranveer Alabhadia, and the episode that I'm gonna recommend you guys is Russia versus Ukraine explained simply, with Abhijit Chawla. Well, honestly speaking, Abhijit Chawla sir is one of my favorites in the show, and I just can't stop listening when he is talking. So you guys got to check this out. And with the current scenario of the war that's going on, I think this episode just cleared any doubt that I had regarding the Russia versus Ukraine scenario. It talks about their history, their geopolitics, the current scenario, impact on the world, the future, impact on India, and just so many different topics. So you got to check the episode out. So I'm going to start with the next segment, which is the book segment. And so this month I read about 10 books, and most of them were young adult fiction, and I did that after so many days. But I have very diversified recommendation for you guys today, and the first book that I have in my list of recommendation is Adulting by Niharika Gupta. And trust me, I just loved this one, and you can say this book was totally about adulting. So it revolves around the life of 3 people: Ruhi, who was the chief editor of literacy publication, Tejas, the best-selling writer of literacy, and the third person was Aisha, who was a blogger and a social media manager. So the best thing about this book was it told so much about the ups and downs of life, about social media, about love, about relationship, family, work-life balance, self-love, and just so much more. There was so much to the story. The initial part did felt like too much drama, but as the book approached the end, the real meaning just came popping out of it, and I'm gonna totally recommend you guys to go and pick this one out. So the next book that I'm gonna recommend is Medicine Men by Saffron A. Kent. This one comes under the young adult genre, but I won't have recommended it if I hadn't really loved that one. So this is basically about Willow, who is in Hearthstone Psychiatrist Hospital, falls for her psychiatrist, who is a dark, brooding, handsome man. So basically, I really love reading age gap romance, and I absolutely love this genre. But basically, the reason I'm recommending that book today is it talks about mental health with great details, and the intensity with which the real topic is being explained was exemplary. Apart from the romance, which was really great, this book takes us to the dark side of mental hospital, not dark side of mental hospital, but dark side of the mental health, and how sometimes we just think that we are okay but we aren't, and sometimes we just got to let ourselves go and seek help. So if this thing interests you, then please go and check this one out. So the next book that I have in today's list is an ebook that I read. It was Please Like Me by Mindy Kaling. So most of you know her from the very famous sitcom The Office. She was playing the role of Kelly Sharma, and she's also the writer of the series, and she had also been featured in Never Have I Ever. Remember the Netflix series? So that's her. In this book, she basically talks about her social anxiety situation and how it started from her very small birthday party, but the experience never left her. So again, another mental health condition. I think I have social anxiety because I just hate crowded places. I hate interacting with people in events, and so I think I connected to that thing. And most of us know we have problems, but we don't know how to name those problems. After reading this book, I just kind of connected to that book, and that's mostly the reason I'm recommending that one today. Apart from that, it is a short story, and another reason for recommending it is because Amazon, if you have Prime subscription, then Amazon gives really great books for free in Prime reading. And there is this whole segment of books called Amazon Original Stories, which are Kindle edition, present in just 69 rupees mostly. And these books in the Amazon Original Story segment are absolutely free for Prime reading. So if you have Prime subscription, then just go search for Amazon Original Stories and you can get some really great books to read. Check that out. And with that, I just ended the book segment. Now I'm starting the movie segment, and I got to say, I watched almost 15 movies this month. Like the entire month I was watching something or other, and I just, without even realizing, watched 15 movies. And I have like 5 or 6 recommendations for today's video. And the person I watched most this entire month was Anne Hathaway. She's just great, and I couldn't stop watching her movies. So the first movie that I'm gonna recommend is hers only. It's called Passengers. So this is basically about psychiatrist Claire, who is given the task of managing the 7 surviving passengers from a plane crash, and how while helping them she discovered things that she didn't know exist. The way the movie ended just left that pit in the stomach, and how it is so important to live your life and not just let things be. That's what the movie teaches, and this is just great. Besides, Anne Hathaway is great. The entire movie, the chemistry between the two protagonists, the story, the suspense, everything was simply great. So go and check this one out. Next is the movie that I personally loved, and probably it's gonna be my favorite forever, I guess. It's Eat, Pray and Love, and if you know, then you know that this is a book by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this is movie adaptation I wasn't expecting it to be so good the way it turned out. So it's basically about Elizabeth's failed marriage, after which she goes around to rediscover herself from Bali to India and to places that she thought that she can take a year-long break. Everything turned around so great for her afterwards that I just saw myself in her, and I can't wait to go on a year-long vacation after that. So overall, I totally loved this one, and I would love every single person to watch this movie. It was so great. So the next one that I have in my recommendation is Playing It Cool. I wasn't expecting the movie the way it turned out. Basically, this is about a screenwriter who don't believe in romance, but then he got to write a movie about romance, and how he meets a girl and his life turns upside down. I won't have recommended it basically, but then the humor in the movie, the specific point of view with which the story has been said was absolutely great, and I couldn't stop laughing half the movie. The way everything turned out was amazing. The support of friends, family, importance of love, everything was just so amazingly described that you got to watch that movie, and trust me, you are gonna thank me later for sure. So the next one that I have to recommend is Gungo by Kathiawadi. It's a new movie, and even with my exams just coming, I went ahead to watch the movie, and all I can say is I was smithed the entire time. The only thing, I don't know if it's a perk or a con, but it was really entertaining. It's good for entertainment purpose, but this is not the kind of movie that is gonna stay with you afterwards. It didn't stick around with me, but the being a Sanjay Leela Bansali movie, the set was great. The deliverance of dialogues, I guess dialogues were my favorite. Besides, Alia Bhatt was just great in the entire movie. So, from a biopic perspective, I guess I totally love that movie, and you gotta watch it when it comes to any of the OTT platforms. So far, I don't think it has been released in any OTT platform, but do watch it or just go to the theater and enjoy it. So I got to say that I finally started watching the Marvel movies, and so far I have watched 3 movies in the series, and I'm in love with the series, guys. I have had so many people in my life telling me to watch the Marvel movies, but I have never paid heed until recently when I started watching the Iron Man. I loved it. Then I watched Hulk, which I didn't really like it, but it was okayish. And then I watched Iron Man 2, and I can't stop watching these movies. Absolutely loving all of them. So if you are a Marvel fan, guys, please drop down a comment. I'll say hi to you guys in the comment itself. Absolutely loving it so far. I know I was behaving absolutely crazy in the entire video for some reason, because this month was great, this entertainment wise, and I while I was trying to pick the movies for this recommendation video, I just felt so confused because all the movies that I watched this month were incredible, to say the least, and it was difficult to pick the movies, but I basically did. I think Anne Hathaway's all the movies are great. I also enjoyed Gehraiya, but I think not everyone can understand it, so I just decided to skip it from my video. So I just hope that you guys like the recommendation. Do watch it. Watch the movies I told. Do hear the podcast I recommended, and also don't forget to check out the books I recommended, because mostly you are gonna love them all, I think, my opinion. And if you are new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe to it and hit the bell icon. Also, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video with your friends and families who you think might love the recommendation. So this is it from my side. This is Pooja signing off. Be consistently curious, guys. Bye.